All right, let's go live. No, for all patrons. Good morning, team. Everything in this video is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast and also coffee with some bread.
Sounds like never mind. I keep it to myself.
For you guys?
Break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to find a Filipino middle ground, because obviously the Filipinos they often put rice in their coffee, which I used to think was very silly until I started realizing that most of the food we eat, like a lot of the cereals, have a lot of rice in them, like Rice Krispies and corn pops and all that stuff. It's all just type of what is it? I don't know, not lentil, but you know what I mean, just popped and then put with milk. And I'm like, wait a minute, we do that, don't we? So I realized, don't be so quick to judge, right? Want to think. Do I prefer rice over potatoes? Oh, heck no. I'm American.
That's a lot of starch.
I'm American. Yeah. Put the hair on your chest. Wonderful. It's good to see all the comments coming in, and I hope to we'll have a fun conversation afterwards. I'll stay for about a half an hour or so. Today is a little bit of a busy schedule for me. I want to thank you guys, everybody who's been supporting us this month, and today we're going to be covering some recaps. Also, keep me in prayer today. I'm going to be doing a special youth message or special message, especially to the young people, later on today, and then in the night early again about the same exact time tomorrow is going at 4 a.m. is going to be our Sunday Word Room special service. So if you guys, I want to keep you up. I want to just update you a little bit on our YouTube, so you guys know where I'm at with the some of our videos. And on the 19th of this month, I released a tutorial class. So if you have not seen it, this is available for only Patreon. This one's available on YouTube. I believe I made this one public. And it's always good to put the first few episodes for free, basically publicly. And I'm going to share my screen. And here is the copy of the video. So it's going to look like this. Jason's Chartroom, episode 19, part A, tutorial class 101, how to understand and identify shortcuts. So it was in this class that we began to speak about the increasing curves. This is curves that are increasing with increasing energy, as well. So what I call accelerating. And I began to introduce this concept and give a few examples, but I basically take you from start to very, very beginner to starting to understand these. The second video I want to show you guys was just the video that we posted the other day. And it's called episode 22, and this is lesson number 2. So that would have been lesson number 1. This is lesson number 2. How to identify the strongest energy key angles and accelerating, decelerating curves. So this is where I start focusing primarily on those curves. And I believe this is just a fantastic starter point for applying some of the techniques within the sword method. So if you guys are looking for a good starter point and you're new and you want to start understanding how can you start using some of these methods in a more practical way, I think this is a great launching place for you. So both of these episodes are available also publicly on YouTube as just kind of as a starter method. I started talking about the acceleration as well as the deceleration of these things. So you guys can watch the video and get caught up. Now, we filmed a video in between these episodes, but I had some issues, but I was able to recover the video. So I'm going to be posting it very soon, but it's a recap day that talks about examples. So there's I want to say 5 examples of these in real life that we apply. So I'll be posting that as lesson number 3. This lesson will be, again, just available for only Patreon members. Okay, so this is going to help you guys just keep reinforcing some of these techniques in real life and how we can see the strongest energies coming in and throughout a market. All right, so today we're gonna the schedule. We do have a special prophetic word we may be able to get to that was asked to be shared, or a special dream, I should say, prophetic word, a special dream, and we want to get to that at the end of class. That would be after class. I don't believe that we're going to record that, but I may record it on my phone's audio, and we'll speak to the person who wanted to share their dream. And then if you guys have dreams and you always want to share them with us, we're very much open to the group after class, because we become a bit of a family. All right, so we'll do a tutorial and then we're gonna get right into it. And then also, guys, if you have not seen the special messages from last week, on last Sunday, I was asked to speak to the church Interfaith World Harvest Ministry, so I was able to preach at that church. So for the Word Room message, I believe this was a fantastic message. I listened to it twice. I think the preacher, he's pretty good. I think he's pretty decent. He looks familiar. I like his beard.
Hey, Jason, I just want to let you know those images that you did for that class.
Which one?
And good stuff. Like there's like 20 images.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is. Printing it out and then reading it, and the concept of you just printing it out, it makes things click. So kudos to you, man, on those videos.
Thank you. In all my private study guide that I've created in private, every time I want to release what I have, I'm like more happy with the stuff I keep doing live. So I think it's just, when my skill level as a teacher and putting it step by step, and it matches that study guide, it's gonna be more thorough. But I like the stuff that I have in the study guide so far. But I keep wanting to make things and take people systematically through my own personal teaching syllabus. I think that's just going to help people walk through. Oh, and then we did I did this message here the other day, quick to condemn episode 9 for the Word Room, plus Maria Conwell discussion. You guys don't have to watch this if you were in that dive class, but these are experts from the dive that we had those days. Okay, and then here was the Word Room message we did for Thursday, for our Thursday special, and this was Before the Judges, Wisdom of a Matter, and Jesus in Disguise. So if you actually liked this message from the other day, this one, and you were part of the class where we talked about this one, and no, this is not the same shirt. Just kidding, it is not. Then this is actually a little bit of a part 2 for you. So just as a recap, if you guys are wanting spiritual content, part of what the Lord has called me to do is also to feed the spiritual message as well, the spiritual content. All right, let us get into the recaps for today. We're gonna Melody's gonna take your requests. Melody's gonna take your requests, and then for recaps, I'm gonna start with ADA. ADA has come into position, or it has come to its tiger line. Now, for ADA, just as a reminder, there's essential energy that is happening with ADA. There's 2 main trend lines that are at work. This one in blue I marked, and this one in green. This is our top. Now, when we have opposing angles, especially when they have a lot of verification, such as, just say the green fire line. If you were to look at this green line, there's lots of points we can touch together. Here, 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 and here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points that are very, very accurate. However, at the same time, there's multiple points we can get together from these cores. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strong angles, and many of them have not been hit ever since. Okay, so in a nutshell, primarily I'm expecting the major action on ADA to begin once we crack above this blue line. But when we see these angles, and they're very different angles, okay, and I'm just gonna copy one, so you can see, oops. When we see these angles, and they're very different angles, I mean, look, I'm gonna overlap it at the same energy points here in the foundation, and you can see how widely different these angles are. Okay, it's very, very different. But because of that, we need to realize there are 2 different points of energy that are at work in these moments. Okay, this green angle is very, very different than the blue angle. So we give it 2 different colors. Can you see that? Can you see how they're just different even if I put them at the same? One angle is this way, and the other is very, very sharp all the way down. So what do we do in these instances? This is where Tiger analysis applies, okay? So Tiger analysis is analysis that I developed within the sword method to help me read the energy when price is looking like an ice cream cone. So the center of these areas is where the ice cream cone comes together. And you can see they start coming together sometime here in the future. Now, I'm going to do two things for you guys to help you understand ADA real quick. And that is, we're going to find where those energies converge. Because the area that they converge is what I call the thunder cut area. And this is an area that I'll denote marked in yellow. So if you were to draw those lines, I'll give it to you in just a moment. But if you want to follow along, you can. I'm going to now duplicate this line and just extend it out way farther here into the future. Okay. I'm also going to now take that blue line and I'm going to duplicate it out by hitting the three dots and hitting clone. And today's not so much of a tutorial day, but a recap of what we did. So I just want to tell you guys what I'm doing now. Now, you can see that these places, these lines come together in the future here. And when they come together in the future, they cross at a certain area. Now, we can do one major thing, and this is what I do with these, is that I will put on, I will put on a trend block using a rectangle tool. So I'll come down to my rectangle tools by clicking the toolbar, and then I hit on rectangle. I'm going to now put a rectangle and stretch it across the point where they cross over. And you can be a little bit thick with these because there is a little bit of a margin of error. When I have that block, I will click on the block and I will turn that block yellow. And I will give that block a border by going to my settings and going to style and clicking on this button that says border, and I'll give it a black border. And I'll make that border very thick. And I can bring up the opacity of the border if you want to. But when you see me draw a yellow with a black border, that's called a thundercut. Now what I'll do is I will take that line, it gives me a few dots here, you can see the three dots, and all I'm going to do is just stretch it out on my chart so I know in the future the general area of where I'm expecting prices to reverse. Because there's a lot of energy that's coming to a central point at these origins. And so this would be my thundercut area. Now you can already see that I've already put that on price at around 7.43. Okay, maybe a more accurate is 7.79. And then we'll give another one for the top of around 8.71. So around this area is where we're primarily expecting in the future some type of action that would be possibly bearish if price is coming from underneath. If price cracks above and it's come back down, we might look for this area to be bullish. But if you want to just make an easy notation by adding a price label, go down to your tools and go down to annotation on TradingView. TradingView is the app we use in this class primarily. It's free, although intraday data maybe cost you like $14 a month, something like that. Then you're going to go to price label, which is right about right there. Okay. All right. So we would keep in mind that ADA is looking like we may have some resistance once we get to those levels, and those prices are very high, considering the current price for ADA is around $3. I'm sorry, is around 34 cents. Now we heard prophetically recently that there will be one coin that would pop off very soon. And we also heard prophetically that ADA is still supposed to do very well in the future. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to hit that number sometime in our future. You may call me crazy, but I've kind of received a lot of confirmations that we're looking that it's possibly ADA that might be one that will pop off. So we got some numbers we can start looking at. So I'm just going to take a quick screenshot, and you guys can see this on our website, patreon.com, after the class. Let's go now a little bit further. Because we have this ice cream cone shape, I'm able to draw a center line right down the middle, which is primarily the line from the origin point kept in balance. Halfway on this side, halfway on this side. This perfectly down the middle line should have verifications of various type, such as mid-phantoms, and we won't get into that today because that's a little bit of advanced, but we do talk about that from time to time. However, what I'm saying is we can use this center line for our, we can use this center line to our advantage by taking that center line and duplicating it at the tops of various energy centers, such as right here and this point. We can actually take that now, that new angle, and if we're correct, we should see resistance along this track. And what do we have? We have, at the core, resistances along this track. So this gives me more confidence that the Tiger angle is a very strong angle to beat, and that we need to beat this angle. Okay, so this is a little advanced. This is not the full tutorial about Tiger. If you guys want more analysis or teachings about Tiger, and you guys are like, man, I like this Tiger stuff, go on my website, in the search bar, type in Tiger analysis, and it will pull up some video tutorials. But today, I'm just letting you know, where we're looking for ADA is two main spots. I'm looking to break Tiger, and I'm also looking to possibly round here at Tiger. I told you guys that this was an area of consolidation, and if we start closing below these areas, the weaknesses will appear. And lo and behold, about 2 weeks ago, the weakness started appearing when we started closing below these candles. So now on the map, we can see that weaknesses are below. I'm looking for prices to come down to these areas of the Tiger, and I told you guys 33 cents. Well, we hit 33 cents yesterday. Okay, there's only one problem with that. Okay, so my last video, I believe, was on the 17th of talking about this one, and before that, it was earlier in the week that we talked about ADA. But look at those videos, and you're going to see that I was telling you guys that I think we're going to hit lower prices. Even though I think ADA is going to do good, I don't think it's time to buy just yet. And I told everybody that. So I told you guys that, so please don't be upset that I'm saying, hey, Jay-Sung said ADA. I also said, just wait until we hit 33 cents. Okay, so we hit 33 cents yesterday. But what happens now? Well, the problem with that is that we're not exactly touching this bottom pretty close. There's a little bit of a margin of error, but if you look really, really closely, there's a little bit of margin of error on this too. Just a little bit. Okay? So what that means is that I'm gonna draw for you guys the more safer area if you want, or if you're looking to buy ADA. If you're gonna buy ADA, this is one of the low map points. So people who are gonna buy it anyway, these current prices around 33 cents, 34 cents, it's not that bad. Currently 34.92, so it's close to 35. These prices are still not bad. They're more closer to the prices you want if you're going to buy ADA. However, there are still dangers because I'm going to show you. You may want to wait until it's safer. If price is able to go below these points here and start closing underneath this track, underneath the Tiger line, we may actually find ourselves hitting some low prices, as low as 17 cents, 16 cents if it happens on November 4th. Okay. Now this is in addition to a Bitcoin hack. A Bitcoin hack could bring us down to, bring the whole market into some low territory and then recover afterwards. So I'm not so concerned about that. But you can, if you're waiting anyway to buy cryptos, just specifically waiting for the hack, then just wait for QNT as well. I'm sorry, wait for ADA as well. ADA. However, I'm letting you know that there most likely is going to be buying opportunities for some cryptos just before the hack. And that lines up with my maps. This lines up with prophetic intel. So for some of you guys who are waiting for the big hack and you want to make some money on some cryptos, look carefully for the moves. If we are considering ADA, I'm going to show you where you want to get in. All right, I'm going to hide these lines a little bit, and I'm going to show you where you want to be getting in. Watch me, because you can use these skills in lots of different cryptos. I'm going to just quickly hide all my lines. Taking into context what we recently covered, we can see how price is flowing. Now these curves are very, very wonky, but, and there's other things to it. This is more of a correct curve of price. You can see it kind of arcing up and kind of down. Even though there's a little bit of sharpness action, it's not alone. Okay? If you're looking at how price was crossed, and you're one of a more advanced, you may say, hey, this is a shortcut area here. Yes. And you can see this nice curve. This would be a curve underneath the shortcut area. Okay, so even though this is not exactly accelerating, it's still two consecutive areas that you're looking at. So this would mean weakness would appear right here. Okay, so that's for some of you who have been with me a little bit longer and you're a little bit more advanced. You may say, wow, this is weakness. I'm not going to be buying ADA, and you would not. So this is where other people were looking into all that consolidation area, and you're not looking for you're not looking for prices to just bounce up. You saw the weakness appear here. You're on your way down. You're shorting. You're making money. Where do we get back in? I will show you. Okay, this is where we're going to get back in. There's two places here at the cores of these areas for ADA, and I'm going to show you. Right here at the top, that's your core. This is your wick. This is your core in this cluster, and this is your highest wick. You connect the core and the core together, and you connect the wick and the wick together. That's a great starting point for knowing that correct angles you should be really looking at. Again, as always, there are exceptions to those rules. You can draw this with a ruler, with pen and paper. You can also just draw it right on your app. So here you are. If you're wanting to be safe, what you're looking for primarily is for ADA to come back up and challenge these prices and break above them, taking the trade about right there. This could give you a more safer trade. So people who are looking for ADA, if price goes up today, that number is going to be approximately 43 cents USD. If that number happens around November 1st, then that price is closer to 42 cents. So more or less, right now, you're waiting for bullishness to occur once we get past and close above the 43 cents areas. Okay, we are not really going to be considering taking this trade unless you're just going to buy anyway at a low map area. But if you want to be safer and wait for confirmation, even if we spike up to 43, I'm not going to be super excited unless we're closing above 43. Once we can close above 43 for you ADA traders, or heard prophetically that you're supposed to be trading ADA, you could come up to these areas and still come right back down if you're not careful. It could look like that. And I don't want that to be the case for your trade. I don't want you to just go up and be happy one moment, but you don't take any profits. Now you could, if you're going to buy anyway, well, I don't want to get into that. I'm just letting you know this is the safer area, okay? This is the safer area. Close above 43 cents, and ADA is a lot more safer to take hitting prophetic numbers, okay? These are the various options. Now, I'm not going to show this option in red because at the moment, these options are not in color. I'm just showing you what the options are on the table. I think 35 is a good price. The current prices are a good price right now. But even though I say that, there's not really any other reason for us to take this trade on ADA. Okay, there's not any other reason to take it except for the fact that prophetically it's supposed to do well. Okay, if it's me personally, I'm just going to wait until after we break those numbers. Now you notice some of those numbers are very close to the tiger. Okay. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to draw real quick. And then we'll move on to the next cryptos. But I did want to spend that time just running through how I calculate what's going on with ADA. You can see that they're all very close to the tiger area. Okay. In the full context of the map, break above here, resistance, break above there, another trade. There's 2 trades on the table, according to what I see right now. One here, and then another here, or 2 behaviors. 1, 2. 2 behaviors. If we crack above here, we can fall a little bit. I still want to challenge this line and take the trades up to at least 72 cents. Breaks above here could get us up to some of the more higher numbers, hitting and fulfilling prophecies. Okay, that's where I'm at with ADA. Do I have any other questions about ADA and my take and analysis on ADA at this moment?
For the that 16-cent mark, what's the date on that? You said November.
That would be November. The one I have for 16 is November 4th. Yep, November 4th.
Okay. I'm on ADA and the low I would have went through for ADA, not Matic. Matic I got it like at 65, 66, whatever case I'm at.
So I'm very optimistic on ADA prophetically. I think I was waiting for these prices, so this is the price I want to get my bag. For me, I'm a little more wanting to take this as a more longer term prophetic coin. And one of the coins is supposed to pop off before the hack is supposed to happen, so it's very possible ADA. All right, let's continue. Let's talk about QNT. We've been talking about QNT. We used it as a great example. We got some very, very nice round structure in these areas. Very, very good to see that structure. People are asking me about taking profits on QNT. There was 2 points I told you guys about QNT. One was the bullish area here. The second was the bullish area here. Okay, this was your confirmation area when we crossed over this green line and came back down and sitting on top of these map points here. This is where we wanted to see the bullishness come back in. And this is where the bullishness came back in. So now we're supposed to be challenging the top, which is the phantom line of these bottoms. So for you guys who don't know already, this is your bottom and this should be your top. So already we're supposed to be hitting these areas. Now, how close did we hit these areas? Very, very close. Very, very, very close with a margin of error. Now, I really went over the line. I don't believe there is much error on my angle. I believe my angle is very, very accurate. There's a little bit of room, wiggle room, just a little bit. Let's see. Core. All right. So you can see that price hit or very close to its profit taking. Now, one thing I always say is when you see the tops and you're going to take profits, don't take profits at the exact number because there is a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of buy orders and sell orders. Always take it a few pips, as we used to say in the Forex world, take a few pips before or a few points before. So if you know the top is 236, you'll see me sometimes take the top proportionally a little bit lower, whatever that price would be. That's how you want to navigate these trades. If there's not a margin of error, there's still a little bit of room. Now, personally, I still believe we're going to be hitting some of these more higher numbers, which is 286. 286 is the next target if we get it. But for the most part, the trade is done on QNT. I think that QNT hit its profits, but there needs to be another behavior that's going to be the one to get us in. Now, if you're already in and you're saying, well, should I take profits? Should I not? You may want to wait until you hit the 286. Okay, if you're not in and you don't have a real good reason to take the trade right now, you may be just chasing candles. So you missed your opportunity. And right now the trade would be more risky. But somebody who bought lower, they can withstand more wider swings because they bought lower. But if you want to, you may want to hold on until you hit the higher target based on these wicks. Huh? I'm sorry? Royal?
I'm sorry, not you.
Oh, not yet. Okay. So you may want to wait till you hit the wick target because it's very possible that wick target is going to be hit. Okay. With that said, I'm just going to give you guys mid phantom real quick and see if it gives me any information. I'm just drawing the step ups really quick to try to extract the most data for you guys using my skills real quick. Here is the area that should be the area of the next support. Because we crossed over from one side to here, we're able to now draw our step up. Where we crossed over mid phantom right here for some of you advanced students of the my method. And this is where we should be getting the support at. Do we have support at this area so far? Yes or no?
Yeah, I can support, man.
So that's right. Good job. So this is a reason why if you are in QNT, you may want to risk it for the biscuit. Is trading in the markets scary? Heck yeah, it is. You have to learn to overcome those emotions. You have to learn how to trade based on rules, not your emotions. When you're in profit, your emotions are very elated. When you're in a negative position or at the beginning of the trade, it may be a very dangerous position. So for some of you guys who already bought when you were supposed to buy, you're now more safer. So you're like, let it ride, let it ride. You may want to let it ride, okay? Because you can withstand the risk. You're not guaranteed anything in the markets, okay? You're not guaranteed anything, but you can stack the odds in your favor based on the market structures that are available within price action. And that's one way you can actually start taking your emotions out of the game so that you'll be more apt to make the right calls, make the right decisions. I want to look real quick at our signals. Oh, and before I say that, before I move on.
There's an QNT and
QNT?
ENT.
ENT? Okay, thank you, Melody.
And Google.
So Jason, on the QNT, now that it's on top of a good support line, is it gonna like consolidate to the point where do you want to wait until you hit 230, whatever the other mark is, 236?
That's a good question. He's asking, do we want to consolidate until we hit the 236, or will price go sideways until we hit the target? It shouldn't, because I don't see a lot of resistance in these areas. But I'll double check. I'll double check one more time. I'm just looking to see if we had any signals on our Renko bars, and we don't. None of the big ones, at least. Who is that? Oh, that was you, right? You sent that. Oh. Royal, I just saw your message right now. Okay. Now, yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards. I think I don't know if those are old.
Yeah, those are old.
Oh, those are the old. Okay, then we did respond. Okay, so he's asking, should price go to the sideways at these moments? And for that, I would say they shouldn't go sideways until we get underneath these prices here. If we got underneath these prices, which I spoke about would be delay. Price could get stuck and go up and down once we get past this blue track. I don't think that's going to happen at this moment. I really think price should find some supports at these areas. If you're now looking at this very closely, like all the way down, just say we're looking at all the way down on a 1 hour chart. If we were looking at this as on a 1 hour chart, okay, this would be something more close. You can map out a lot of this very easily. Okay. Look at the flow of price. You can see that price is just, look at all the tops. You can collect a lot of that energy. And now you can see what price is doing. Sitting on top of these areas. Oops. You can see it sitting on top of this energy. So there's been a shift. This is bullishness or health appearing. I should say there's health appearing in this section here. Okay, that's where the health is appearing right here. And I'll just mark this. So if you take it all into account, the larger map plus some of the more smaller action, you may say, well, we might be looking for prices to continue higher. Okay, this might be a very good, just a continuation for your eyes. You know, for many days, prices has been going down, 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 and then now you're sitting on top of those, and now you're making new highs. There is some danger. Wicks closes below this are a little bit of weakness. So now if you read the whole story in context, very locally there's some weaknesses. So therefore price could be delayed a little bit. So to answer Superfood's question, though I'm not expecting major consolidation, it is possible that is in the works. That right now, in the next hour, we're not expecting anything major to happen. Okay. But it's possible that price could just play in these areas for a little bit. Or for a few hours. Because this is an hourly chart, we could say for the next maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days, price could play in these areas. So I will show you guys that as to not sugarcoat, as to not sugarcoat.
I'm sorry, Jason. So you went from a 1 day, and then I guess you wanted to get like more micro information.
Yeah, because
1 hour chart.
yeah. Now normally, what do? We go from a daily to a 12-hour to a 6-hour, but for time's sake, I'm just kind of showing you some of the major information. The major information, the major trades are here on the daily. The next one, the 12-hour, we should still see just price finding its support. Okay. The major trade, draw that line, Superfood, from here to here. We may be able to see it now also on the 6-hour. If you want to draw it out, look for price to crack that line, and you got your next entry. Okay, that's your next breakout of health. Okay, but if you go all the way down in the next few hours, you may just see us being stuck in these areas for the next day or two. All looks like all the way till what, October 23rd, which is tomorrow for you guys. So I wouldn't play around with it too much. Just know the general areas. Okay, that's why most of the time in this class we spend time on the higher level charts, as to not confuse people and to keep things really simple. But I believe if you go down the track from daily, 12, 6, 3, 1 hour, you should be able to find that same information. Okay, that line and then that little small line I drew for you on the 1 hour. Okay. Do we have any other questions about ADA for today? I mean a QNT, sorry. QNT.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. But we should get our next bullish movement once we crack these lines. Our next bullish run should be up to here. So I hope you guys do well with your ADA. These prices down here are let me give you these prices, by the way. $168. Pretty good prices for QNT. Anything close to these prices, 168 all the way to 286 area. Fantastic. All right. What's the next one, Melody? ENT. You can. I don't know if you guys can hear the beautiful sound of the rain in the background. Yeah. Yeah. Those are called new builds. I call them new builds. Like we just build a new chart.
Okay. I haven't been the most consistent with coming to class, but if we have not already taken a look at Volt, can we have that?
Volt?
Yes. VOLT.
Yeah. Melody will write it down. All right. Looks like some help is coming into ENT. Okay. When price rounds or starts rounding over, go ahead. When price starts rounding overall, and it starts doing that, it happens in stages. For example, we're able to take some of the resistance in these areas, and we can see that even though price didn't bounce at the sword cut, health is somewhat appearing along this track. You can see that many days afterwards, we come back down to these track areas. From there, we're able to start drawing more resistance areas and looking for the next health and supports to come in. Now we can use these to help us to read price in lots of different ways, but I'm letting you guys know that sometimes the health is very slow, and I always refer to this as when somebody's coming out of a coma, they don't just because they open their eyes doesn't mean they're ready to run a marathon, but it doesn't mean they're getting worse either. It just means that they're starting to recover. Sometimes the market, to recover from a lot of bearishness, you have to overcome it in stages, and so that's where a lot of these accelerations come through, like accelerated adjustment zones. For some of you guys who've been with us, you'll see the health appearing like a clock in stages before it starts to be bullish. You'll see a long time sometimes where price is almost just going sideways because it's slowly recovering or slowly accumulating. Okay, or I should say that the institutional money is accumulating and saying thank you and taking the shares from the more traders who have been dejected or tired of losing money, and that's why you'll start slowly seeing that transfer of money until we start getting into health. Okay, but we can, luckily for us, we're able to read that type of information. So if I were to take this resistance line here, right here, and I were to duplicate that out at its lowest energy centers here and just say here, I can see that we should see resistances along this track. And you can see that pretty accurately on this map. So ENT should have had some support along this track. But what happened? We came down to this track and cracked below it. So now when we crack below it and we rounded back into this area, that was bearish. So for us to round up into these areas, rounding underneath in the basement is very bearish. We don't want that. So that was bearish, and then some health is starting to appear where I put this little H. Okay, so let's continue to draw some more. Okay, because even though there's some health, it's not time yet. So I'm gonna now draw some more lines. Okay, there's some reverberations of this angle along this track here, some support, but weakness is still appearing. All right, a lot of things we still have to deal with. Okay, I'm now going to draw a new line. Okay. And then we'll move on from ENT. Okay. I'm going to now draw these bottoms, the last bottom we have. Because this could give us some clues about what's happening. This is not a tutorial class. It's this is one of those classes that's a recap where I'm just using my skills to help us draw some price action. All right. So this is a type of fire line that I'm drawing to help me try to use to measure where some of the strength might appear back on this chart. Okay, especially if I can see verification in the past, which I'm going to test now very quickly. I won't spend too much time. Sometimes I go a little bit slow so you guys can at least see what I'm doing. Here in the past we can see resistance along this track, support here. This is very interesting. When we see this, what do you guys think is the major predominant energy that's running through price at the moment? When we see multiple verification points for two separate angles, and we talked about this at the beginning of our class today, what do you guys think is the major predominant energy running through this chart? Name it if you know it. Yep, that's right, Mr. Mall. Tiger lines. So this is Tiger energy. We got two separate angles, both at work, both showing us some types of verifications as we found from the past.
And just to clarify, because I haven't studied this notice, I want to.
Are you
The tiger
going
lines you're referring to are represented by the two colors. One looks like an aqua color. and
Yes.
one looks like a purple with it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
At the end of the day, they just resemble an upside down ice cream cone, depending on the angle of these tiger lines. So this one, we can see that here's the ice cream cone. Now from there, we're able to get a lot of information. We're able to get, for one, thunder cuts by finding the center of the ice cream cone, like we did at the beginning of class. Now I'm going really fast, okay? Where they cross over, we turn that into our thunder cut area. All right, so we got some thunder cut area, we got some thunder cut prices. We're looking primarily at the area where they cross over, and we can give that a label. And now we got an idea of where we might want to take some major profits. If price goes on a major bull run, we may want to take some profits around 4 cents on ENT, and that would be very lucrative if there was a buying opportunity, if price was to go on that run, which it not has. I'm not saying it has, I'm just letting you know where that's at. All right, next. Now that we have our tiger line, or sorry, now that we have this, what's our next step? For some of you for some of you people who have taken some of my tiger tutorial classes,
Don't you have to draw the line?
that's right, we have to draw the tiger line. And we've already drew our fire lines, which is the lines going down along with price, and we're able to identify two separate angles. And you guys can verify those. These are key angles that just need to be verified, but I'm already letting you know we see a lot of verification just on the bottom line alone, not to discount the foundation. Now, because of this, we are going to identify that tiger line. Can somebody draw it on my chart, please? Good job. So this is the tiger line that Johannes drew. Johannes has been accelerating at a very high rate. I'm really grateful. Thank you, Johannes. And what he drew was the line that goes down in the center of these areas. So now I'm going to clear that annotation. So you guys who are participating. This line, I drew it, he drew it in purple. I'm just going to draw mine this way. It is the center of all the energy that comes in here. And the great parts is when we're able to catch these lines as they're appearing, it's fantastic. So it's great when I get to experience these things happening in real time. Now that we have this tiger line, we're now going to try to do something with that line. We're going to try to verify that line to make sure that we're not just making stuff up, to make sure that we're doing it correctly. So what we can do is we can take that angle, and that angle is halfway between this point and halfway between this point. It should stay in the center. And now we can take that angle and duplicate it out and start moving that around to the various energy centers. Up here, here, both at cores and wicks. And we can start seeing if this angle is going to give us the information we need. All right, so let's do that. So I'm going to make this like a level of thickness. Make it really dotted. And I'm going to bring it out here. First at the highest wick. We're going to verify this, which is we do a lot of this in this class. And we can already see something at work. We can see that price is coming up close to these areas, very close, a little bit of a margin of error, but there is more of a margin of error on Tiger anyway. But I can already see that we're getting 1 point of verification right here. When price came up to this area, that's something very interesting. Let's do another. Let's bring it down to the cores. Bringing it down to core, verifying, let's see, no verification. I don't see anything. Let's bring it down to some of the low energy centers. Let's start with this extreme wick right here and see if there's anything here. Nothing. Let's bring it down to the lowest cores in the foundational area, which is right here. Again, I'm going really fast. This is not a full tutorial. This is just me using my skills to try to see what's important for us. Few verifications along this point. This one, this one, this one. I think that's all we got for that one. Okay. Let's bring it to some of the more wider swings. The lowest core in this area is, in this energy centers, is this one and that one. So I'm going to bring it down. All right. Just a little bit, very, very dirty. I don't like it. Let's try another one. Here. Very dirty. No verifications. And then here, when we bring it back up to this point right here based on these wicks, I can see price hitting this line a few times, spiking right here, and then having a hard time breaking these areas. All right. All right, so let me duplicate this. Also here, I'm gonna keep this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these lines on my chart, but right now I'm gonna fade them away, because they may come back into play sometime soon. Bringing it back to the second point. All right, not the best verification, but enough for us to confirm that the tiger should have some energy on it. Okay, so again, let's look at our center tiger line. Here, this is the area we should encounter some chop. Okay, so now we have our tiger line plus a tiger line base, one of these phantom tiger lines based on this highest wick. Okay, so our tiger line is the center point of energy, and you can see that the tiger itself had some rejection right in this area here, and then we came up again to the tiger areas here, and then we came up here one more time. Okay, so what does this leave me with as far as my options goes? Well, as far as the map goes, this is what I see. Price is starting to round into this tiger area, and it makes the trade dangerous. It's more likely that price will go down on ETN. Okay, it's more likely that price will go down. However, if we're able to break above these areas, we could see some health coming in and take the trades up to these areas. There's primarily, looks like a few different behaviors. I'm going to bring back in this line here, make it a little bit thicker.
And when we know at the end of the week, when we know by tomorrow night, this Sunday, then we're going to be lasting. We're going to stay lasting.
Well, let's go down very, very short. If I look, and if my tiger line is accurate, which it should be, there should be some health that has appeared. Okay, a little bit of health that has appeared by us fighting. You can see that in these candles. Look at, we try to come up all the way high, came right back down, slammed right back down. But then the next candle we were able to close, and this time we tried to go below and kept getting back up, because now we have the winning momentum on our side. We're on the healthy side of price. That's not to say we're all in the clear, but there's some health that has come into play on these daily charts. So that means for the last several days, this is what's really been happening. Price has been battling with who controls the energy of this major movement. All the energy that was coming in here, there was a lot of energy to the downside. And this is that moment of truth where we're going to find out who's turning the tide of the battle. And right now it looks like the good guys, or the bulls, are starting to win on ETN. There's still some danger along this track. So if I was you, I would wait and get some of these, clear some of these areas. Get above 0.002 around November, October 30th. So this is October 30th. If you're able to close above these prices today, the price is going to be much higher. The price is going to be, if it's today, you need to clear 0029. Okay, so this is the price you need to clear today. And that number, the good news is that number goes down as time goes on. So as time goes on, you're going to get lower and lower, and it's going to be easier to beat that number. But you don't have any guarantee. So right now, it's dangerous trade, because you can lose a lot of money if we don't lose the second battle. If we lose the second battle right now, you know, in a couple days, you can go really far down. Okay, you can even come as far as these prices down here, and that would be super dangerous. So this is why, looking at the map, even if you have a local buy signal, you need to clear this area before you're more safer to trade. Because the last thing you want is a round structure underneath this area and find you slamming down all the way to 0.0008. I mean, you'll lose a lot of money. Oh yeah. If a hack happens, don't be surprised if we hit that price, by the way, or somewhere along this track, because that's very steep. If a hack happens, we can hit that track and come back up to these, you know, I believe we're going to be coming back to this track at least sometime in the future. There's somewhere on the red track. If we have any good blessings, we should be able to break above this area and then start taking some of these big trades. But I did draw another line up here. I'm going to give you guys as well. But yeah. So I'm just giving you all the map so you know the danger areas, so that you know better how to navigate this trade when it's time. There will be times to take a lot of money on the table, but right now there's some danger. Okay, you get above these danger areas and you're going to be more apt to be successfully have navigated all the options for this price. Because price can do whatever it wants, especially when it's being heavily manipulated or close to being manipulated. There has to be a turning. Price doesn't just go straight up, as you guys can tell. Price goes up and down and up and down. And so I'm letting you know where the next trades are, where the next movements are. Get above here, take the trades up to here, maybe take some profit, or wait for the pullback and then wait for a break above these areas for the next trades. Okay, but that's going to be my personal opinion. Especially during the hack, you may get those prices. That's where you, if you want to, yeah.
Sorry, I have to step away for a second. Did you just say that during the flash crash, ETN could go down to 0.0008?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seriously?
But I don't know if we will be buying ETN during the flash crash. We probably want to be buying other stuff like
I won't be buying ETN.
Yeah, me too.
Anything, especially prophetic ones.
There's just not enough money to go around. It's tough. Decisions, man.
But at least you know where to put some of these orders in.
That's right.
If we can catch the low points on a lot of these orders, you guys can really, I mean, if you can't log in the flash crash, right? Just say you can't log in the flash crash, but you want to have a diverse portfolio of cryptos and you want to know where the prices are, find them on the maps. If you can find them, put them in. Because that could be, it will look, and at the end of the day, it'll look like one long wick and come right back up. That's what it's probably going to end up looking like. You'll see a big spike and then come back. Okay. Yeah, 0.0008. Okay, and that's if that's it. This number is good till October 25th. If you're going like into November 1st. Yeah, 0.0082. Let me just put a little bit of a call out so you guys understand the dates.
Yeah, I was also going to do 0.090s just to make sure. With the potential of a fuck $56. $56 was probably said that.
56? Is that what it was prophesied?
You don't have to work too much. It's anything like that. Wasn't there,
Did I hear you guys right?
from,
Yeah, it's supposed to go up to $399.
yeah, $399 for Christopher.
But I think Pastor Keith said the Lord showed him that it's going to go much higher than that, but he wasn't given permission to release that number just yet.
Wow.
I honestly believe that this is meant to be used. The only way that can happen is if it's adopted by the British government, this kind of CBDC, if you know what I mean, like
ETN is like, they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they
it's
do.
the privatization.
Yeah, so I see
Yeah.
it killing $399. Absolutely.
That's
That's gonna be.
You also have to consider the guy that created it.
Mhm.
Really created it to help people who are unbanked, people who don't have traditional bank accounts. So I think these low numbers are definitely going to help those individuals to get in early, so to speak. And for those that are holding on to it,
Okay.
it's not financial advice, but don't use it for topping off your cell phone
So I'm putting that. You said 399. I'm gonna put has some prophetic numbers at 399
Yeah, I'm writing it down too.
in the future. I'm putting that in there. Listen, guys. Let me. Mr. Mall said something very, very important. If you're listening to him right now, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this on the recording afterwards, but they were Mr. Mall and everybody's having a conversation about this coin as I'm talking, and they talked about this coin being hitting at 399 and higher. That Pastor Keith, who we know and love, he came on our channel a few times. He has his own channel. He has also seen a number that is much higher, but the Lord has not revealed. Let him say that number, and that's okay. But Mr. Mall was just saying that this number would be the intention of the creator for this coin was to create this coin as something that was a replacement for people who don't have bank accounts. Is that what you said, right, Mr. Mall?
Yes, he's in the chat.
Cut. Now think about this. Think about this, guys. What are we expecting to happen to the banking sectors by and far for people in the wealth transfer communities? What are we expecting?
I just signed up my credit union today.
That's one of my
So happy, man. So they have been service.
Good.
So happy today.
By and far, we're expecting banking sectors to have collapses because of what? A lot of exposure of corruption. We are expecting a lot of banks that we know and love to go bye-bye. Some of the the banks that we've heard of from some of certain communities that have big letters that look like this shape. They've had some of their comms that have said, "Bank's not safe." This is also matched stuff from Mr. Poole. This is matched some other information that we've seen from military sources over the years. That one day in the future, a lot of the banking will be exposed. Are banks corrupt? You bet. It's not a lie. It's not conspiracy theory. Just look at what they recently did to gold. Chase Bank. I have Chase Bank. Look what they did with the other day. I'm gonna let you guys know just as a side note. I got an article from Epic Times about 2 days ago, and I'm not sure if I took a screenshot, but I think I took a screenshot. And this is the screenshot that I saw. Okay. That the banks were coming together, and here's my screen. The banks were coming together to make an agreement. Oops, sorry. The banks were coming together to make an agreement to give all of their controls or more controls over to the United Nations. And that congressmen in many states, most of them being red states, by the way, were saying, hey, what are you doing? Why are you trying to go to the whole net zero emissions to get rid of fossil fuels? And all these banks were making agreements against the will of the people, but trying to say, yeah, we support you. So these are major banking institutions. What God's going to do during the wealth transfer is he's going to make some of you banks. Some of you guys are going to become the new banks. And their monopoly will end. Monopolies end. Monopolies only begin because they have all the power. But when the people and the power is returned to the people, they're going to be in position. For that to happen, the people have to have the wealth. And I don't believe it's just any people. I believe it's God's people. That God's people need to be in position with the wealth. So we can always talk about that later. But going back into ETN, if you put it all together, if the owner of ETN has in mind that he is going to want a coin that can be a replacement for normal banking, you now have a time, a day and age where the money from all of these banks, and people cannot trust the banks, they're going to be running away from those. Where will they run to? If there is publicly known a wealth system in place based on cryptocurrency that is a banking replacement, it might very well be that ETN in the future could receive massive amounts of influx of money. Massive amount of an influx of money. People pouring in money with ETN. Why? Because they're running away from the banks. They got to go to something. And you're going to see a lot of that switching around, right? And just by the very nature of that money coming into ETN, it may make millionaires and billionaires out of many of you guys in the future. So how far is this? Is it 3-4 years? Is it tomorrow? I don't know. It's most likely going to be a number of years in the future. But prophetically, we want to be in position and ready for a lot of these things. So flash crash, 0.008 cents prices. Wow, if possible.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Well, well, Jason did that, connecting the dots. But then even though I do assuming that $20 and $50 will be running out in the United States, including the whole world.
What's the next one?
Here's a story for you.
What's the next one?
Last year when I was in Italy, I went to the bank with sterling Bank of England money, brand new plastic notes with the Queen's head on it. And I went into a bank and they would not exchange them for euros. They says, no, we don't take, we're not taking it. So I says, why won't you take it? She says, we're just not exchanging they wouldn't take the pound. They would not take the pound. Not just one bank, lots of banks would not take the pound. And I could not buy euros. So how crazy is that you have Bank of England sterling, you go into a bank in Italy and you cannot buy euros. I couldn't believe it. I said to myself, now the year before I went to the bank and I had to give them my passport, they photocopied my passport, and this is just for £400. I was buying like €500. They photocopied my passport, asked where I was staying. It was crazy. The next year they would take nothing. So I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something, like these banks have been told that they're not buying the pound.
Can I answer your question? That's House speaking, right?
Yeah.
House, when was this? Like, what range of time was this? Like a month ago, or?
No, 2 years ago, they photocopied my passport and asked me a load of questions when I was just buying €500, which is a small amount. Last year, they wouldn't even sell me euros. This is 12 months ago, 13 months ago. They wouldn't even sell me euros. I didn't go in this year, but I imagine it's the same. They wouldn't sell me euros. So
I just asked that question because of what's been happening recently with the purchasing power of the euro depreciating dramatically compared to that of the US dollar. So I wonder if they had a heads up that it wouldn't be in their best interest to exchange,
Yeah, it must be, because I mean, like, if you look what Liz Truss done to the British pound 2 weeks ago, I mean, it was pretty much what, a 97 cent to a pound. It hasn't been that in 50 years. So.
And is it true that she stepped down as the prime minister?
Oh yeah, she's gone. Yeah,
44 days.
She lasted 44 days. Yeah, 44.
Isn't that a cabal number?
It's the number of new beginnings 44? Or something. Is it the number of new beginnings?
She was just there as a puppet to blame it on
Boris
somebody.
might come back. They might have to take Boris back. I don't know.
The United States is no joke, buddy. They're taking down their allies. It's crazy what we're doing.
I'm telling you what, our over here on mortgages, some people.
What is he eating there?
Sorry.
What happened, Ron?
She's eating spaghetti. He's eating pancakes, I think.
Pancakes and
Making me hungry.
It looks good.
Making me hungry.
pancakes and jalapenos, man. That's weird.
All right, let's continue. We can continue some of this conversation after class. It's be very interesting. I got a request about the stock market. We'll look at the stock market. And then we're going to look at, what's the next one? XRP after that?
No, XRP, Volt,
And then Volt,
LUNC, RDD.
LUNC, RDD, what is it?
XRP, Volt, LUNC, RDD,
And
and
DJI. Okay, so,
And the new building.
but let's quickly look at the stock market because the stock market is very interesting. I have this picture for you guys. One of the energies we can easily see by connecting these two tops is this third point as a verification point. We're going to be looking along this track for a breakout, looking for bullishness in the stock market, but most likely that's not going to come. If we see a big pump on the market, we may see it just for maybe up till this track. So if there's a big pump tomorrow, we can see it right up to that, and then I think that's all you get. I don't think we're going to be closing above these and becoming bullish again. However, there is one other major place we can see energy coming in. Now, we haven't really looked at this market since June. Can somebody else tell me the other major energy lines that are at play? I'll give you a clue. It's a type of fire line, and then I'll give you a further clue after that. After we put it all together, you're going to see what type of energy is running through here. So please draw me the other supports for this line. Can you guys draw on my chart? Huh?
I said I see it already.
Do it. Draw what you see. Show the class what you see. I'm going to take a bite of this little, whatever it is. Ube?
Did you bring it up, everybody, Jason?
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not bad. Ube is like a purple yam or something. It's like a yam.
It's delicious.
It's
No,
sweet,
it's
but better than a yam.
here in Philippines.
Is that?
It's like a kind of like a potato, but
Kind of like a potato. Melody says.
but it's an ube.
It's called ube. That's one support. There's something bigger. You can leave that on your chart.
Do you like persimmons?
Oh my god.
So Michelle drew a line from here, and she saw some support here, and that's a reason why you'll have local support. But there's something a little bit greater, and I want to see if she can draw it.
No,
Okay.
yes.
You erased my other green line and then that was a mistake.
No, I mean you could draw that. You can see some energy coming in on there. That's pretty good.
There's confirmation.
No, the little short one that I drew up top. If that was an error.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm seeing the wrong line. Okay. So she drew this, but there's something bigger. There's something even bigger. Can you guys catch it? Come on, who can do it?
Did Superfood didn't get it?
Nobody got it yet.
Oh, then it's gonna be the.
I can't draw my laptop for some reason.
Come on.
Sorry.
I don't want to just give everybody answers, but have you guys have opportunities so we can look at the. What is it, Michelle? I mean, Melody. You want to draw? Go ahead, let me draw. No? Okay.
Come on, Melody.
Oh, there it is.
Who's got it?
Right there, right smack in the middle.
Who's got
Yeah,
it?
but I know it was a tiger, but we need the other line. If he's saying my line is wrong and your line is wrong, so what line is it?
Michelle, is your line the green one or the red one?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Guys, I have to apologize to you. You guys did it right. Whoever drew this red line got it right. And the reason, who drew that?
It wasn't me, but all that.
Okay.
There's some guy named Superfood.
Okay. No, that was a. I do apologize. You guys don't know this, but I'm just gonna share my whole desktop real quick so you can see what I'm talking about real quick. So on my computer, guys, what happens is sometimes two program windows pop up. I'm not sure why. I think it's like when I click a certain button. There it is. Two programs. So your lines will appear drawn on here, on this window, but when I click on the preview, it makes the line look like it's in a different place. So
I was here for a second.
so you guys did. So I'm like, oh, so and if I move this around, so somebody draw your line again, right? You draw your line on my screen. Go ahead and draw it, just real quick. Just redraw any line. Okay, so see how his line stays the same? You see that? Okay, so I do apologize, guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, your annotations are not captured, so I do apologize. I have to cut these parts out of YouTube.
So that's a fire line, and then are we going to do an adjusted? What do you call the other one that's going down for this one?
No, you don't really have to worry about any accelerated adjustment zones for this area because we haven't really. We're still coming back to the main lines, but I will draw this for everybody. Okay, so you guys got it right when you were connecting these points. Look at all these points that we're able to collect on this angle here.
Yes, but you see on the last one there, right? Where it didn't connect, and there's a vortex.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Price should have been sucked. Well, price could have been sucked into that vortex.
Yeah.
It wasn't sucked into that vortex, which means it was quite strong. Then it starts coming up. Would you not draw a line from that other point to that point? No.
Well, this vortex was hit based on some of these. Okay, based on some of these, this would have been a vortex that was hit. The next vortex was down here. You can see price got sucked into this area, but I think it had support because of price was on the healthy side of these lines right here.
Can you blow up your screen so we can see it?
Okay, I see. I get you why you didn't draw that line, because that green line is showing the health.
Yeah. So this.
Let's see the background of your main screen.
Oh! I'm sorry. You're right. Let me go back to.
Yeah, I just wanted so I could see it better.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So you can still see we're on the healthy side of here. So this could overall it could just make price a little bit delayed, but there's a lot of different energy running through this price. So our job as investigators, when we're looking at a map where we're reading correctly, we don't want to just read one piece of the book and be like, I know it. No, you have to sometimes keep reading and then come to a later conclusion. So wisdom is to consider a matter thoroughly and to make decisions about your future, yourself, your own beliefs in many areas based on the information that you've been given, either from the Lord, from Scripture. You know, that's all. So when it comes to applying wisdom of the markets, we want to look at most of the strongest energy in the market, reading using the sword method, or what if you're a separate type of trader. But I use the sword method, and that's what we teach here. As we're reading the various energies, after we're done making the map, we put it all together. Okay, so right now we have this energy running two separate angles. What does this mean? Both are correct. So what does this mean for these two separate angles in the stock market? That's right. It's tiger energy. She got it. So when it's tiger energy, we got to draw our tiger line. And from there, we can do a third verification. So quickly, I'm going to draw it. You guys are doing just fantastic. And if you guys don't know how to you don't have a ruler and you just want to eyeball it, you can also do this. You can also just draw some lines straight across at a few different points. This is the poor man's version. Okay. When you see one, you're just going to pick about a halfway point. You say, halfway is about here. Grab one and say, halfway is about right here. And just pick this one and say, halfway is about right here. And then pick this one, halfway is about right here. And then halfway is about right here. Once you have enough halfway points, you just connect them all together and they should give you a more correct halfway point. So that's just one way you can draw to try to keep it balanced. Now mine's a little bit off on that one. Okay, but this is basically how you can make the poor man's version of that line, so without rulers or stuff like that. That's just a way you can, a little art trick. Okay. Now let's continue. Now that we have our tiger line, we can use that line to our advantage to verify some of the energy. So if I take that tiger line and I duplicate it and I put it at the tops of these energy centers, which I'm just going to circle for you because there are classes where we do full tutorials about how to draw and understand these energy centers. But if I were to take a few of these energy centers and run them as verification, I might see all the verification I need. Okay, nothing there. Let's go back to this top one right here. And let's see if my tiger is giving me some type of these stripes. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Look at that one. Look at that. Very accurate. Let's go to the next set. Core here. That's one. Here's one based on the wicks. Let's see. Here's one based. This one's out. This one doesn't give me any verification down here. So I got this one related to this one. Let's get some of these tops. Nothing. Core. At the core, I got something right here. That's possibly one. Let's go to here. Nothing. Let's go to core. Nothing. Okay. So I only have tiger verification for the most part on this bottom area. Okay, so let's look at one other type of analysis that we can do with tiger using step ups. So we just turn our ruler flat. This is for some of you advanced students. Whenever price is crossing over from one side to the other, these are called step ups. So you who've taken my step up tutorials, go ahead and look on my website under step ups. We'll look for price crossing over these areas and look for step ups. I'm just going to draw a few just really quick because I'm really curious about these. Again, I do apologize for everybody. There are times when I really take my time giving you guys full tutorials, and other time I just need to use my skills because some of you need me just for my skills. You don't need me for all of my tutorials. You just need me for what I can do for you, and that's okay. Okay. This is very, very interesting.
Man, I'm clicking on your pens, wondering, I was clicking on your pens thinking, why can't I draw on the screen? It's your screen.
Oh, because I keep moving my screen now. Yeah. This one's unresolved. We're going to leave this up here. Okay. All right. So with the verification of this tiger analysis, I'm able to see some points, enough verification through the step ups and a few verifications on the lower half to know that this tiger line should be very accurate. Okay, so I just did some quick verifications to determine that this angle is very important. When that angle is important, all you have to do to get your next resistance lines is take your angle. Now that you've done all your homework on it and you make sure your line is correct, you can take that angle and bring it up to these points, and then you can now start getting your next resistance areas. So if there's one last pump before the dump, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually doesn't happen on the red line, but rather along this track here. This is going to be one of the last tiger angles that you have to work with. Okay, some of the other earlier ones you may argue are already done. Look at those. I missed that verification right there based on this right here. Okay, right here at the beginning, verification right there. So I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if this is going to be the area, the track that we're going to experience the most resistance in. Okay, and because I have an unresolved step up, the candle should more look something like this when it does happen. Pump with a small wick that looks like this. Oops. So if there's one more pump, it looks like it may happen. Somebody said Bull Pony prophesied that something like October 24th might be a day for the stock market to have a crash. Well, you're not so far off from this resistance area. Okay, these prices, I'll get you those prices in just a moment. These are based on the step up of this area that's not resolved. Price crashed above and below, but did not come back to give us a more more solid stop, like back here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do find ourselves spiking up to the tiger, coming down here. If you see that on the stock market, that would be a sign for me of weakness. Okay, and that's very more likely where the next crash might occur, and the dates for those could be very soon. In the next week, it's very possible within the next week, you could see prices, hitting those. But there's still a lot of weaknesses in the market, and the markets are primed for a crash. Okay, even though we're going down, we're still on the wrong sides of price. Okay, in addition to all of that, and I'm just going to put the date on here. Let's just put a text because I'm sure this chart is going to get out, and in some ways it needs to. And I do apologize, guys. I'm taking a little time, but knowing when the next stock market crashes are going to happen is important. Dow Jones Industrial October 22nd, 2022, www.patreon.com/jsong_7. Okay, so now you have my full thoughts on these, or almost my full thoughts. I'm now going to show you something more powerful, but let me recreate my work real quick on my actual chart rather than just my drawings. You dance over me while I am unaware. You sing over. I'm going to give you be a conservative number 2 using the core. But I never hear the sound. Lord, I'm amazed by you. Okay, now I'm going to draw that step up. Lord, I'm amazed by you. Lord, I'm amazed. Okay, by you. Now you love me. Okay, so I'm going to change this border to that gray. All right, so this is very close to the candle I'm expecting. It would look like a spike here, followed by this, like a white looking candle. So if I see that candle, again, guys, if I see that candle where we spike up and close right there at 31,546, then you better believe that I'm going to think this if we see it, okay? But for right now, I have to leave it white. Once I see that candle, I'll probably put in a video publicly that's, saying, hey, I think a stock market crash is very, very imminent. Okay, and that may match Bull Pony's. See how close we are to that date? So Bull Pony's saying October 24th, and I'm saying, look at this map. Okay. Now, in addition to all of that, this is one of the predominant curves in this area. Bringing this curve straight down, according to my rules, straight down here to the lowest cores in this area. Now, if you use the weekly chart, you're going to see a more accurate. Why did I use this point? Was I using a monthly? Ah, yeah. Now, bringing this curve, okay, bringing this curve down to our lowest core in the monthly area, you can see that we should be having responses along this track as well as underneath this track here. Okay, so here's my supports, and we can see that on the monthly chart, price came down all the way down to there, and then we went up. The problem is we closed last month below this line. So now this previous month, we tried to go back up, tried to come to the top, back to these areas, and could not. We are still underneath this. So for us to close in these areas is very bearish. We want to be closing back into these areas if we're going to have any hope of a market recovery for the stock market. But that has not happened. We're closing right now. It looks like we still got another 9 days left, but it looks like we're going to be staying below this curve, which is underneath where we need to be. Okay, this is the track. This track is based all the way back from 2018. Okay, so this is very, very not good for us to be in this area. This may mean that we may experience some lower prices very soon. Okay, so when you're looking at the stock market, guys, okay, not good.
Lower prices in the stock market?
Yeah, you bet.
I've heard projections is that we could be going anywhere from 30 to 40% down.
Well, what is these bottoms? So current prices. So the next supports, if the markets crash in the next few days, November, let me just put this on November 1st, okay, just to be really conservative. We're talking 27,000 from 32,000 to 27. And then underneath that, what do we got? We got supports around let's see, along this track. The next vortex points, 26,000. 26,199. Closer to that. Bring to front. I would not be surprised if we find prices hitting some of these lower areas. And let's bring this down. Here's another vortex point back in April of 2023, which we can put on later on. But for right now, I'm just giving you guys all of this. This is going to be one of my maps, and this is what I'm expecting right now. Okay, this is what I'm expecting. Moves back up to this, still underneath. These prices were very close. Those prices are around 31,000. 31,000 for the high, 857, and I'll just make a little duplicate of that just so you guys can see that high. Sorry, 31,000. Yeah, 31,941, close to that. So these are those prices I'm expecting for the markets, for the stock markets. Does anybody have any other questions for me about the stock market at the moment? The only way hope can come back into the markets is if we're on the opposite side of this. Okay, but I'm going to really decrease that because I want people to not really focus on that. I'm just letting you know your options. The highest option is probably this one right here. Okay.
May I ask you a historical question?
Historically?
The tie between the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the price of gold. When the Dow Jones Industrial Average takes a correction, what is the price of gold historically? What's the ratio, I should say?
You know what? Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. I'm going to pull this up monthly. I'm going to add another chart real quick.
The reason I ask that is two things. One, there's an analyst that I follow. The name of his service, I'll just say it hints at gold being an excellent buying opportunity. I think when this crash happens. So I could be wrong, but I don't really know yet.
Okay, so let's that's a good question. Let's look for these dips. Okay, so from here, from these prices down, let's see if I can. From these prices down, when market was dipping just a little bit, gold was rising. Actually, gold kind of went the same way. Okay, all right. What about this dip? From here to here, gold also was falling. Okay. From the point when the market was rising, gold was going down. Gold has been also heavy manipulated, so I don't always trust everything I see with gold, at least until the future. Here, everything was consolidating back in the day. No, I don't have that far back. That's 1920 something. All right, let's take a look more closer. Let's look at this dip here. What was going on here? In the last dip in January 20 to April, we did see, it looks like gold spiked a bit. That's interesting. No, actually did not. Did not. So I don't really see too much of a direct correlation, except for the times when the market rises, the gold has been going down. During the times gold falls, the stock market seems to be rising. See? So, yeah, I'll leave that alone. Okay. But maybe that analysis, maybe that guy, he knows some things I don't. Of course, everybody has their own takes. Now, let's go into the last few for today. I do apologize. We're coming up to our time, but I'm going to go as fast as I can for the last parts. I love to give thorough information. I love to not just, you know, there's people who hear me and they're like, you know, what are my takes about certain things? And I want you guys to not have just a piece of information. I want you guys to have the full information of what you should know. Yes, what's the next one, Melody Song?
That's XRP.
XRP? All right, let's look quickly at XRP. Oops. We did XRP earlier this week. We will cover it again. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. Hey, where's my XRP? Watch list.
He passed it twice, actually.
Here we go. All right, in one of my that's an older map. Let me get a better one. Maybe this one. Okay. All right. In my previous analysis of XRP, you guys remember I talked about hidden buying being in these areas here, as well as at the sword cut. We had nice round structure into the sword cut and a pump. This was our resistance area. You can see we closed above it, got the pullback right along the track, and now we're forming round action back into it after hitting Thundercut twice. So we hit Thundercut twice. This map has been one of my more accurate maps. You guys have seen this map on my charts for months. So people who are wondering about what's going on with XRP for months, you guys know what's up. Okay. So that's why I really like the sword method. It helps me map out price and start knowing the next areas on when are my primary buying opportunities. I don't care if I have an indicator that just says, hey, you should buy. If that indicator is on the wrong side of price or price is flipped, the indicator will not have seen that. But if I know how to read for myself, I can understand if a trade might be more dangerous or more safer or more exciting or more healthy or a little bit, you know, weak and possibly having some shorting opportunities. So we are now looking for breaks above 0.054. Now we've already came up and hit it twice, pulled back, hit this undercut twice, and now we're back, but now we're coming back with some round action. So this is more accurate for prices to go up higher. So for people who are looking for XRP, for people who are looking for XRP to start moving higher, I think this is a good point. Okay, I think these are good prices. Look at this nice round structure. I think we're going to be able to challenge these higher areas and get the break. So, oops. Okay, so this is the same symbol I always draw for you guys all the time. This is what I'm expecting, and I think we're going to be able to get it. Okay. So round structure, this is bullish. I'm going to put that in there. For you guys who are XRP traders, XRP is at a low map point, and we may get some higher prices. XRP is at a lower map point and has nice round structure. This map has been accurate for many months. I am now expecting a challenge one more time towards 0.54 cents, then a breakout above towards 75 cents. Okay, so that's the next area. 75 area closes above this area will bring bullishness into XRP. Beware of flash crash glitch hack of BTC that can quickly bring XRP down temporarily. All right. Okay, so just remember that, guys. I'm now expecting XRP to crack above this line, challenge up the 75-cent areas, movement above there. You see it in green right here. I'm expecting if we get some bullishness above here, we should be able to challenge some of these higher areas. Okay, these numbers are still accurate. We're still looking for the 75-cent area. So you might see very soon your XRP going from 40 cents to 75%. If that happens, there's going to be a time where Bitcoin will glitch and we may even see 7-cent XRP prices. But hold on during those days because prices will recover. If, and from what I'm gathering, you are able to buy back some XRP, you may want to, for just some of you, you may want to attempt with a small portion of your XRP. I wouldn't say maybe with everything. Always be careful of trading everything. But for some of you who are more skilled, you may want to take some profit levels at some of these prices. If we, especially if we're rounding here, we may want to take some profits closer to these. So if we pop up and round at these levels, we may want to take some profits and have some low orders prophetically for the hack. Something like 25 cents, 23 cents, maybe 7 cents XRP, and then just buy it, ball back in. You may want to go into like USTC as a stable coin, USTC, and then get some of those orders in for XRP at lower prices if possible, and buy up triple, double, because look, if you buy from 75 cents and you're able to buy back at 20, you're able to buy 3 times as much. Okay. USDC. I'm sorry, USDT. UST is the prophetic coin, and we'll review that at the end. I have it written here. Melody, can you see?
But it's not so stable right now.
Ye-
It's less than a dollar.
Yeah, it's not at its peg, and prophetically it's supposed to return to its peg, which is
What
very
is one put
interesting.
in USDC then?
I'm going to be putting some in UST, the one USTC, right? That's the one.
That's
That's
the one that was pegged at LUNC Classic. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. That's the one. The one that's pegged at LUNC Classic is supposed to prophetically. So I'm going to put some in that coin, because we heard we have some prophetic intel that when the hack happens and everything's affected, there's going to be some coins that are going to be very littly affected for various reasons or the other. And I think that's going to be one coin that we may want to attempt. However, I will say this. If you're not able to put in an order during those days directly from USTC into XRP, then do not attempt that. Only if you have an exchange that allows you to go directly from USTC to XRP. What I'm about to say is a little bit complicated, but this is not for everybody. This is just for people who are going to be riding the storm. I will let you know what I'm doing during those days. Okay, I'll let you know, and we'll have some emergency videos. So as long as the internet is still working, we'll have some emergency videos. But I want to let you know that putting the prophetic puzzle pieces together, there should be a small window of time where you will be able to buy, even if you don't have an order. In the initial moments of a flash crash or a glitch, the markets will go down and you won't be able to even log into your accounts. Okay, a lot of orders will be filled back and forth. Stop orders, people who are trading, their stop losses are going to be triggered. They're going to lose a lot of money. prices will go so low for a lot of people, they're going to lose a lot of money. Even you, in your accounts, it's going to show you at a very low level. Do not panic. Prophet Sharon, she had the dream that Luna hit a very, very low number, or something happened where grown men was crying, and the voice came and said, shh. And after it told them to shush, then prices skyrocketed and went to the moon. So that tells me that they're most likely crying because their account portfolios were affected for a small time. In my dream that I saw everyone was panicked and in shock because the markets, everything went down, everything. And then there was a small window of time, and in my dream, it was only about 3 days where you were able to buy. Listening to some of the other people who prophesied about this, they seem very confident that you are going to be able to buy. So in the initial moments, you won't be able to log in, but after maybe a day or so, you will be able to log in and buy. But if your stable coins are also low, your buying power is going to go away. Let me give you another example, because it's good we talk about this so you be thorough. Say you have a lot of money in Shiba, right? Just say you have $10,000 in Shiba, and Shiba goes super low. Well, now your $10,000 is just going to look like a few hundred for a few days. So now you only have a few $100s worth to buy XRP. So you can see how things can get a little bit hard to participate in the wealth transfer unless you already had some low orders. Some of the things we're more apt to trust right now are some of the stable coins. And this means that in a certain period of time, it could be a few days, it could be a few months, but I don't think it's so long. In a very short amount of time, there should be a time where we're going to be able to sell a majority of your holdings. And I'll let you know when I do mine, or if the Lord reveals it sooner. But there's going to be a time when you're going to see a pump in the markets, and then it's time to get out and get into some of these stable coins. I'm going to be here with you, or I should be here. Pray that the Lord has me here with you to give you, or to be with you through it. I don't believe we're going to miss it, especially if we're stay with the Lord and stay in prayer. I believe He's going to help us navigate through it. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a time to take some profit, and there's going to be a time to move into some of the stable coins. I'm not going to put everything in USTC, but I'm going to put some of my wealth in that USTC. Some I'm going to put in USDT, because I think there's going to be another time for that to recover. And I'm going to put some probably in USDC. Okay, so I'm going to be putting it into 3 stable coins. That again is USTC, USDC, USTN. I'll probably put a majority of it in USTC. Okay. When it's time, I'm just going to be holding my money off to the side, and I am personally, this is not for everybody, I am personally going to sell a majority of some of my XRP holdings, buying back the same amount of XRP. So I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to put low orders. This is not for everybody. This is for people who are going to be riding the storm. When everything happens, I'm making money going down, I'm making money going up. That's what I'm going to be doing during the crash. Okay, I've been looking for coins to short, and there's a few that I have some ideas about, but primarily I'm looking to make the money up first, then the money down, all the way down, then buying back triple amount of XRP. Okay, as well as some other coins like Shiba and a few others. So I'll hope to broadcast my moves, but I'm letting you all know, if you can wrap your head around it, that this is going to be a little bit wild, because we've never been in a time in history where we know in advance this great crash, but we also know some of the great pumps. And if we put it all the story together, we can see up, down, as I've talked about on my YouTube channel publicly, up, down, and then back up in a big way. And then there's going to be future crashes. I know there's going to be other future crashes in the future. But this is going to be one of the first major opportunities for us to step into the wealth transfer. And we want to be in prayer that we can all get it. And I believe we're going to. Okay, team? So, all right. So if you take notes, you can write down some of these notes of some of the conversations that we talk about in here. And I just want to let you know, if something happens to me, either I'm traveling or not able to make a video, you kind of know what I'm expecting. You're going to know that there's a big pump. You're going to know there's times to take some profits. It might be here at 75 cents for the XRP. Take some profits, get back in. At 7 cents, watch it go all the way back up to $12. and that might be something very, very viable for you. Okay. All right, I think that's all we have time for today because we are over time. But oh, Luna and Volt RDD. Maybe I'll quick. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting me and Melody on Patreon, supporting us, as some of you guys are Dive members, some of your Patreon members. Thank you, everyone. Luna, I'm expecting some of the supports to happen along this track. As you guys know, for many days, I've told you guys I drew this line here, and here I just extended it out now since for time. But this is the same price that I drew for, I want to say about 3 weeks ago. We drew this line, and now we're very coming close to these numbers. These numbers also coincide with, oddly enough, with what was it? This core to this wick. Now, normally I wouldn't draw that, but I drew it before because I had some reasons why I drew it. And I don't have a lot of faith in that line, but I believe I did have some reasons why I drew it, so I didn't delete it from my chart. But this is the same angle, or should be more or less the same angle. Oops, is it not? This is its own angle. What happened? Hold on, team, 1 second. Let me look on my pictures real quick. Melody, can you look on my phone real quick at the Luna Classic chart? I think I took one before class. Yeah, that's a glitch. Okay, this is a glitch. Never mind. I have it here. Look at team. Look at this. Core. I'm sorry, wicks. Wicks gives me this angle. So this means there's some weaknesses appearing. But look at this chart. The angle just completely changed on me. This happens with the Luna chart on Bitfinex. I'm not sure why, but from time to time this chart gets thrown off. So I've learned to just be a little wary of these angles. But in my previous analysis, the angle should be something like this. Okay, so I don't mean to confuse you, I do apologize, but this chart is wonky, technically. Not technical analysis, just the data feed. Something's up about this chart. So I do expect, either if we don't get to, because we're entering some weaknesses, I now have a little hope that Luna will do well right now. Okay, I don't have so much hope. There will be some bullishness that appears. Ooh, even this core is not correct. It would move here. There would be some bullishness possibly when we can get above these areas, but if we're not getting above that area, we're expecting some resistance. Okay, I'm expecting some lower prices of Luna. But if we can round and get back into this area, then what happens is now you're just delayed. Price could play in this area for like quite some time. Okay, so I'm gonna draw these and leave them here for you to see.
So the support would be the 00021.
Yeah,
That's the next support.
that's the next support. But because we entered into weakness, because we now crossed through this line underneath instead of bouncing here and then coming up, now price is having a harder chance even with the support. All it can do is push us into this area at the and get us here. So this could be delayed even with health by being on this side. We're still underneath a majority of the resistance. So this is why we can get stuck for a little bit. So I don't have so much hope for Luna at the moment until we get to some lower prices. And for a long time I've let you guys know I believe we're possibly getting back to these prices of 0001. Okay. So for some of you Luna traders, I believe that we still have time to make some money, and this might be in accordance with what you heard Prophet Sharon said. Again, the grown men crying because they're Luna, but they're waiting. They were in the buildings and waiting, and this matches other prophetic dreams about Luna. Once the low point happens, then bullishness. But right now on the map, I don't see the strength. I don't see a real reason for us to be buying Luna. Okay. The moment I am not bullish Luna, but Luna Classic, but I believe those prices are coming. Okay, so you got to be a little bit more patient. RDD. RDD rounding at the sword cut area. Very good, very good. Interesting, very good. Price is unusually hugging these lines, refusing to go down below the sword cut, and phasing through. Phasing through is where we cross over these resistance areas. You can see this is where the resistance area that I had. Price is hitting, and trying to squeeze its way through, and it did. And it did today or yesterday, which means that this comes down along the track. This is still here. I'm gonna give you a more.
So the arrow that you were just referring to, was it the one that would have bounced lower, or the one that
So
is the thicker white line?
this one, this area, or this one?
Yeah, that was like, because you had two. You moved
Yeah.
which one was there.
So
That was the thicker one.
I'll show you the one I drew. That one was here above. Okay, so that tells this area, this arrow right here that goes like this, is an option that says once we cross this line, we should be getting health. But we have not crossed that area. You can see we've only spiked above. We haven't built structure above it. So this goes along the track according to wherever we are at in time. Okay, so right now price goes to left to right, so we're going to move this down along the track. So when we get this break above here, we're looking for us to challenge the next resistances. So you can see now, I'll bring down some of these so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, but to make things a little bit more clear, I'm going to just delete it and just redraw it so you guys can see, because now we've crossed through, we phased through. You can see we phased through this line. This is our resistance. We should have hit this and went down, but we kept hitting the support of the sword cut. So this sword cut won the battle. By us cracking this resistance, we are now coming into health. So there's some health in this area. Okay, there's health in this area. And because there's health, we're now looking for prices to come up and challenge this resistance. Okay, so if I were being more accurate,
Did you do multi?
no. We may want to see if prices, now that we phase through, it's more likely we can see prices challenge this track, okay, or these resistance lines. Those prices are, if it's today, the prices could be as high as 0.00048, and if it's in, just say November 1st, the prices are 0.0045. So somewhere along this track, we're looking for our next behavior. Does everybody understand that? It's going to look like these arrows. Okay. Health has come in the market. And most likely now we're going to be able to go up. Okay. What we just witnessed was bullish. Okay. So I'm going to now draw this as red, so you guys can see that I'm expecting resistance. And this arrow, when you see me draw these arrows just pointing sideways, that means phasing through, just like we just witnessed. So we just witnessed price phase through because we saw phasing here, phasing here, phasing here. Price is refusing to go down. That's a bullish sign. That's a bullish sign. So don't be surprised if RDD does well in the next couple weeks or next few days even. Okay? Don't be surprised that RDD... Huh? The weekly chart? I'll take a look right now. Thank you for asking. October. Hopefully this puts some money in our pockets. 22.
Dr. Jason?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Your red line abbreviation is good, but there's two D's and one in parentheses. For a reason it should be.
Oh,
I think. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so there we go. Let's look at the weekly chart. Alrighty. Okay, one moment. Alright, on the weekly chart, the new candle just spawned on top of this area. So we can see that, oh no, 1 day and 4 hours left. 1 day and 4 hours left for this candle to spawn. So if you want more confirmation, this might mean that the movement may happen maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday. But you want to close above 000345. 345. Okay. Yeah. And I'm just gonna put that weekly. I'll put that for you. Need close above. Put that in brown. The weekly chart needs a close above 0.000345. You dance over me. That's good enough. All right. Finally, Volt. Can we do Volt on Monday, Mr. Mall?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Put that for Monday. All right, team. We are over time to do. Huh?
What happens at the areas now?
You're out of luck. I don't.
I think so. You already have it, Jay.
Huh?
You've already done that. I think so. Because we didn't ask.
Yes, he has. He's done gold.
Jamal, come on, give it the program, Jamal.
Sorry. Yeah, I was at work when the class started, so you probably covered it.
For Volt, okay, my last since October 1st, so let's go to October. So for Volt, we are looking for Volt. Volt has already challenged Tiger a few times here, okay. So our last Tiger line should have been at this energy center, both at core and wick, but here at the core, price came exactly here. So we've already performed and saw the predominant strong energy in this area is Tiger. There's a lot of volatility in this coin, guys, so be careful. Lots of volatility. I mean, look at these spikes. Because of these spikes, we're looking now for price to find structure when it break first at the Tiger, and then second when we break above these areas. So at the moment, we're sitting on Tiger, rounding with some type of structure. Very messy. The whole thing is messy, but again, there's still some bullish health in here, okay, or I should say some health. We're not weak, we're not really weak, but it's just very, very messy. I would say for you guys who are Volt traders, Volt should be more stable once we get past Tiger, and then there's possibly a trade from this area, which I've already pointed out looks something like this, but let me give you a more better. It should look like that. Okay, that's how we should be looking. Okay, once we get past these areas, we need to get past the Tiger. We have not gotten past this little stripe here, this Tiger stripe. Okay, we need to get past that area. This has really already been fulfilled. You know, see how we already hit that Tiger line and came back down. So don't be afraid if we challenge it one more time.
Are these good prices now for Volt? I don't know the history of the price, so.
I would say, I don't want to say it's good because I don't have the signal. I mean, we could fall during especially during a crash. We can end up falling all the way down to these low prices here.
And just for a quick update, I just got word that in the next 2 weeks, it's looking like 2 weeks, Volting change is going to be active.
Exciting.
There is something though. We may need to update our whole area here. This might be something we can do. Ooh. Okay. Look at this, guys. I'm gonna hide this real quick. So far we had. Can you move that off my screen? So far, guys, we've had our Tiger energy that's been this, right, and we've been able to have some verifications based on these, this point, right? But recently, because of this recent bounce, occurred along this track. It now looks like we're going to be able to draw a new tiger line. One that is not based on all the wicks, but one that is more accurate. I believe we're going to be able to get a more accurate tiger line. So I'm going to do that for you real quick, and I'm going to fade away this old one.
Tiger, how is that that line tiger? Where's the vortex or whatever where you're parting it to get up the middle?
It'll probably be in the same or closer to the same area. Let me see. I think I should be able to get it. Okay. I just want to hide some of these other lines. Okay. So the new tiger would be somewhere along this, and then that means I'm going to hide these.
Oh, I see.
When we first created this map, we used the best we had, and it was accurate. But now, as price is stabilizing and developing itself a little bit more, we should be able to get a more accurate tiger. Let's see if I get some quick verification. Nope.
Ice cream cone is just
Nope.
not as wide.
Nope. Nope. Maybe. Okay, here's the tops. Okay, here we go. At the source here, especially in a foundational area, 1, 2 verification. That's good. Or 1, I should say 1. Let's look at the next point. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm good.
Maria Conwell talked about Volt today, yesterday.
What did she say?
Michelle shared it in the Telegram, and I guess we can chat about it after class if you need.
Okay.
Basically, she just had Volt on a leash, and it's right behind Shiba.
Yeah, I have a dream also.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. So
Lots to talk about.
So here's a step up. Here's a step up with Bolt, okay, on the tiger. Okay, again, I'm gonna make sure I hide this a little more as to not confuse you guys. Okay. So here, between these points, here's your step up. You have a nice round structure into the step up down. So that's really good. The next area there should be a step up is right here. We crossed over from one side to the other, and you got another step up into this area. Good. Look, price sat down on this area, found some support, came to the underside of this area. 1, 2 came down. This is very, very good. All right. Not really. No, we're still going down. That's probably why it's on a leash. But according to my map, that means that this tiger is fairly accurate. Now, this gives us some scary parts, because we could still challenge the underside of tiger and go down. Okay, it's very likely that will be the case. Okay, so you're still likely for Volt. It's still a little bit dangerous. We may be able to get one more chance of lower prices along this track. During the flash crash, we may even go all the way down to some of these lower prices based on some of these wicks. And I don't want to be too bearer of bad news, but I don't want to really be trading Volt just yet. During a glitch or a flash crash, we may see super low Volt, and that's something you may want to get. And the prices may be closer to these. So I'm just gonna quick put a little screenshot. Lowest Volt prices on this map.
How about a mid price? I have low buy orders like I don't know, 6 zeros I think it was, and 4. 6 zeros and 4. Is that mid price? Oh, yeah, both too. Okay.
So just your normal price, that's your average bottom of the map price, is going to be around here. So if it happens around November 1st, or again November 1st, since that's the day we've been using, we're looking at 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros, 5, 6 zeros, 6 zeros, 3, 8. So is that around what you've been seeing, Superfood?
That's my low buy order, and it's been fluctuating between 4 and 6. 6 zeros and 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And I don't know. Hopefully, Jesus lets build it up, because voltage change. It's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, that could be if there's a Volt exchange that may go online soon. For some of you guys who are in that know or that community, let me know. Send me some information so we can talk about it. But these are the current map prices. I believe my map is accurate. Rabbit is good. Rabbit is wise.
And I've been noticing about 2 or 3 people now have seen Volt in their dreams. So
Huh.
we'll see what happens.
So I wish I had just a trade on this structure, something really good. But at the moment, we have to wait for the breakout. Otherwise, if you're just going to buy at a low map point, the next low map points are around these prices. This is the next point, and then you guys know. Okay?
I'm gonna have to put another one for that 0.4. Yikes.
Yeah.
Crash.
These prices may be attractive. This will be the next prices that are attractive. So I'll just put like a little text in white. So I hope this helps. Yeah, you're welcome. These might be the best prices for volts based on this current map. And I'm gonna make sure I make a point to say not these are not the safest places to enter, but could offer the lowest points for those wishing to enter anyway, based on longer term prophetic information.
$10 will get you 68 million plus at that 1459 number.
68 million?
That 6 zeros and a 3 8. We're looking like $400 to get $1 billion.
Wow.
That's $1 billion bagger right there. I'll take that for $1. $380.
This is the safer area to enter. Okay.
Super for the low price is the one ending in 1459.
Man, some people's gonna make a lot of money with these
Yeah,
coins.
that's the lowest price. I mean, the last, man, I'm telling you, this coin, the last time
Word of God.
way back over a year ago, it was at 17 zeros, and it had 17 zeros, man. It was crazy. Look, some people are gonna make millions, man. You forget about that.
17 zeros. Wow.
Craziness, right?
Yeah, and these times are coming soon. So, again, hunting today. During our hunt today, we in conclusion, we will go over some of our last screenshots from today. If you guys were looking at Volt, these are the prices. I think you guys should. Let me show my iPad real quick. Sorry, both. For some of you guys, these are the low prices we're looking at. Volt. The other one that I'm really considering right now, RDD in health. Right now, that's a more likely coin that should pop up and get you the trade up to here. So hopefully that'll put some money in your pocket. Taking the trade here. If you want to be wait for a better confirmation, wait for 2 more days, 1 day and 4 hours. Actually, 1 more day, and you need to close above 0.003 for 5. Those are the major stuff going on this week, as well as XRP is looking it's just coming from a low map point for people who have not entered XRP. This is what you want to be entering in. You want to enter in at these prices, getting the trades up to here. I believe we're going to not just come up and challenge it again, but this time actually break it. We've already challenged Thundercut twice. And this map, again, is months old. So you guys have known my prices, known what's going on, known where we should be looking for that support. And everything's just happening according to how it's been happening. Okay, some of the other fun things, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, just as a recap, I'm looking for a candle that looks like this. A spike up to 32,877 and close back down to 31546. If we see that, or very close to those prices, I'm going to be very bearish in the stock market. Another thing is that on the monthly chart, we're looking to close underneath this, the yellow line that's years old. This is a projection that's based on the monthly chart. Not a projection, sorry. This is a parabolic based on the monthly chart. And this is a phantom parabolic, so we're underneath right where we should be. So this closes below these areas on the monthly chart would be very, very bearish, and it's very possible that Bull Pony was right. Somebody was telling me that this morning that Bull Pony had a prophetic date of around October 24th for a stock market crash. Well, guess what? We're about just 2 days away from this on the map, and we're about 2 days away from his number. So my numbers match his numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if we're expecting some bearishness to coming into the markets down to some of these lower prices, such as 27,693 and 26,199. Okay. Black Monday. Yeah. So. All right, guys, and then.
Not Black Monday, not Black Monday. When they talk about Black Friday, that means that the stores go in from being in the red all year to being in the black on their books. So when you say Black Monday, that means it's going to be a good thing. So you're saying Red Monday. Red Monday.
I've heard them call it Black Monday as well because the market crashes. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it has a different connotations in the retail sector.
Yeah.
As far as
When it's stocks related, it's called black, but when it's retail, it's different.
Okay.
So
Thanks, guys.
the other thing about just as a recap for ETN, you ETN traders, ETN looks like there's some health coming into ETN as we're coming past these areas. We're starting to phase into health, but there's still some resistance we have to deal with. We've challenged it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We have not closed above these resistance prices of 0.00029. So I'm looking to get past these areas, but at the moment, it is most likely that we are going to round down and then possibly hit some low prices. Now, again, we're always being aware of the Bitcoin flash crash glitch. That may bring us to hit some very low prices, but if we hit these a glitch, we may see low prices at these points, or even perhaps much lower depending on the glitch. But a lot of these prices should recover to these areas. So ETN, I'm not ready to pull the trigger just yet. I want to be safe. I don't want to just take dangerous trades, because we can just based on its own map alone, we can hit our tiger line and come right back down after hitting that tiger line. Everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast, and so should you. But sometimes you can get sick. Never trade more than you can afford to lose. Never be especially wary of trading high leverage or even leverage trading during these volatile times, because of all the external factors that are at work. You do not want to get caught on the wrong side of the pump and the dump. So we can see these things starting to occur. I still believe that there's going to be a moment when it's going to be time to move into safer coins such as USTC. That may be one prophetic stable coin that we heard is supposed to even repeg back to $1. And some of the other stable coins may be a little bit more dangerous, but I'm going to be having a pool of all three: USDT, USDC, and USTC. Those are the main three, but primarily a lot of my holdings of my cash, once I cash out, so to speak, or move out from some of my positions, it's going to be moving into these coins. The USDC is going to have the majority of my holdings. And then as a recap, remember guys, because of all the volatility in the markets, there's going to be time to make money up and make money down all the way to zero prices for a lot of crypto. Shiba, everything should go low for a few days, possibly longer. But in the dream that I had, it was approximately 3 days. And prophetically, people seen that it's just a short time before a recovery happens. And when that recovery happens, a lot of the moon dates for many prophetic coins will begin to occur. So Luna Classic, very low. Shiba, very low, and then going up. But there's not to say there's not opportunities to make some money before that crash or before that hack. So we're watching very, very carefully. There are coins we did not cover. But if you watch the full video will be available on my website, patreon.com. This video is available for all Patreons. The full class, we're here live watching the markets together as we ran through our maps. Today was not a tutorial day. Today was just a recap day. But we'll have some more tutorial classes coming up next week. I hope you guys join us tomorrow for the Word Room. Tomorrow's Word Room, we're going to be having our service today. That's going to be... for us, it's tomorrow in the next 12 hours, but I hope, the next 24 hours. Tomorrow is going to be Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys join Melody and I. For us right here, it's very early in the morning, broadcasting live from Studio 42. I don't know. All right, we'll see you guys. Let's close today with reading the Word of God, and we'll add this to the video, and then we'll end. and then we'll be right back for some after class. And we want to hear the prophetic dreams that you guys heard. Some of you guys are having prophetic dreams you want to share with the group, so we look forward to hearing those in just a moment. Hey, where's my Bible? Huh. Oh, it's right here. I'm like, who took my Bible? Who took it? Luke, chapter 23. Verse number 6. When Pilate heard this, he asked whether the man was Galilean. Jesus is on trial. Whether the man was Galilean. And when he learned that he belonged to Herod's, or King Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him over to Herod. Just pass him off. I don't want to deal with him. And he sent him over to Herod, who himself was in Jerusalem at that time. When Herod saw Jesus, he was very glad, for he had long desired to see him, because he had heard about him, and he was hoping to see some sign done by him. And so he questioned him at some length. But he, Jesus, made no answer. The chief priests and the scribes stood by, vehemently accusing him. And Herod, with his soldiers, treated him with contempt, mocked him. Then, arraying him in splendid clothing, sent him back to Pilate. And Herod and Pilate became friends with each other that very day. For before this, they had been at enmity with each other. Pilate then called together the chief priests and the rulers and the people, and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who is misleading the people. After examining him before you, behold, I did not find this man guilty of any of your charges against him. Neither did Herod, for he sent him back to us. Look, nothing deserving death has been done by him. I will therefore punish him and release him." Let's stop. Now, obviously, Herod did not see the truth about Jesus, but he was merely just fascinated because of what he did. And it is possible that there's people that really come to Jesus just because they're fascinated. They get close to him. They're more testing out Jesus. They're investigating Jesus. But they are not taking on Jesus at his word or his truth. And it hasn't been revealed to them. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that, and I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. Only those who come to me. Let me give you I'm going to slaughter in the scripture. It's going to be John 6:44 and John 6:37, and it says, No one comes to me unless the Father who sent me draws them, and I will raise them up on the last day. King James says, no man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up on the last day. Let me mute somebody real quick. So what we see in the Bible is that God has this thing about himself. That even though people say they found Jesus or they found God, it's really God that is drawing them to him. And if God comes, or just because you have an opportunity to be next to God, does not mean that he's revealed himself to you. In this example, you can see Jesus standing before the king, and Herod's asking him, who are you? What are you doing? All this stuff. He's investigating, but Jesus is not revealing himself at all to Herod. However, it's important to note later on, and through the other accounts of the other Gospels, that Jesus did reveal himself to who? To Pilate. To Pilate. Now, this is where I get into a little extreme territory, and I won't go so deep into it, but I will give you this. There are various books of Apocrypha, and people can read them sometimes in historical context. Some people view them as holy scriptures themselves. There's a wide spectrum of people's doctrines, and I won't get into that today, but I will say this. There is one book that was supposedly written by Herod himself. I'm sorry, not Herod, Pilate. Pontius Pilate. It is said in the book that basically after Pilate charged Jesus and he saw the resurrection of the dead, that Pilate became a believer himself and he became a follower of Christ. Now, you guys don't have to believe that, of course. I'm just letting you know that there is such documents that exist that are, I believe they're called the testimonies of Pilate. And it is basically him becoming a Christian, talking about the truth. But if you read the further investigations that Pilate, when Herod sent him back to Pilate and Jesus stands, Pilate said, "Who are you? What is truth? Are you a king?" Jesus said, "I am a king." Jesus revealed himself to a degree to Pilate. Pilate says, "My kingdom is not of this world." Jesus said that to Pilate. Jesus also said to Pilate that no one can come to, if the truth were not revealed to you, Jesus said, "The people who handed me over to you are guilty of the greater sin." That's what Jesus said to Pilate. Jesus had a full conversations with Pilate, but he did not with Herod. Something was tugging at the heart of this unbelieving Roman soldier, this Roman governor, Pilate. We also see that Pilate's wife got dreams, and his wife said to him, hey, I had a dream. I couldn't sleep in the night. I've been troubled. God must have been speaking to me, or she might have believed the gods speaking to her. And she said to her husband, "Have nothing to do with this man." It got all the way to the point where Pilate ends up washing his hands, saying, hey, I don't find this man guilty. My hands are clean of this man's blood. You guys can do what you want with him. I punished him because you guys are all persecuting him, but I want nothing to do with this. You see, Pilate's heart was slowly softening. This once hard man, it is said that Pilate was very ruthless, but this once hard man is becoming softened by his encounter with Jesus. On the other hand, you see this other king who's bringing him close, and he's been hidden. He's right in front of his face, but God has hidden himself for his own purposes. That's for another conversation. But it's been hidden from him. Two people in a similar seat, both can judge when it's been revealed who he is. He's a king. It's been said he's the Son of God. Pilate's now fearing because Pilate is seeing the truth about who Jesus is. Now we'll cover more of that as we continue our daily reading, but I just wanted to throw some of these things out for you as we look at the story. We'll look at it further from Pilate's perspective, and we'll probably read that later on in the week during our normal readings. Let's close with a prayer. Lord, we thank you so much for this day, for teaching us many things about the markets. Lord, for showing us many things in the markets, for revealing the timings and the seasons and the health and strength and structures. Lord, I pray that you would just bless every person here who's watching live or who watches these videos later on. We put our trust not in wealth, in riches, in the markets. We put our trust in you. You are our great living hope. And in the same way that you revealed yourself to Pilate, unexpectedly, we weren't expecting that, I pray you reveal yourself to us. There are many people in this world that still mock you. Though you have come close to them, you have been hidden from them. As the Bible says that you said in the Holy Scriptures, that they may be ever seen, yet never perceiving, ever hearing, but never understanding. This prophecy is fulfilled about many people who mock you. They don't believe you exist, and those who do believe you exist just chalk you up to lunacy, fantasy, myth, just some prophet, just some holy person, but they don't understand your divinity. They don't understand that you are the only way to heaven. Spiritualists, mediumists, even some atheists believe you are just one way to heaven. Even some agnostics believe you're just one way to heaven. But you are the way. You are the only way. No man comes to the Father but by you. You are the way, the truth, and the life. Lord, thank you for revealing to us in the Holy Scriptures who you are. For the Bible says elsewhere in the Scriptures that you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned and revealed them to your little children. It also says in the Holy Scriptures that if we want to receive the kingdom of God, we must receive it as a little child. In the same way that we receive these things, these great mysteries, with a faith as simple as a little child, I pray that you would help us to accept your kingdom with that simple faith, knowing that it's for us. Reveal it to us because we are your children. We are the sheep of your pasture. We are your children, and you are our Heavenly Father. You told us even in the Word of God to call you Abba Father, which is something similar to Dad or Daddy. How endearing, Lord, that you would love us in such an intimate way. We don't want to take for granted our great opportunity to have a relationship with you while we're still alive on this earth. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. We may not have seen you with our eyes, but we believe you. And because we accept you, we accept your Holy Spirit, we're able to feel you in our hearts, in our spirits, and put your presence in this place when we pray to you, when we sing to you, when we get on our knees, when we worship you, when we lift our hands, when we close our eyes. We're able to have communion with the living God while we're still alive on this earth. And for those who do not believe, they cannot. We are blessed, Lord. I also say one last prayer. For those who do not believe, who are listening, reveal yourself to them. Do not hide from them as you did with Herod. Lord, we pray for them that they may open their eyes. Give them eyes to see, that they may see. Give them ears to hear, that they may hear. Let us hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Let us hear what your Spirit says to us. Let them receive your Spirit. Let them accept what you did on the cross, when you died for them, when you poured out your blood for them, when you took their place of their wicked sins. For it is written, the soul who sins will die. It is written that once death, then the judgment. It is written, Lord, that it is appointed for a man to live once, then to die. Lord, we will pray that they will accept you before they die. Please let them accept you as the way to heaven. We pray for those who are listening, who don't believe. Give them hearts that they may believe. Let their souls be saved. Let them enter into eternity. Don't let them be a hard of heart. Draw them, Father, draw them. You said to pray to the Lord of harvest that there may be workers that will be sent into the fields. We are your workers. We are the ones sharing the gospel. We are the ones trying to populate heaven. Harvest us, Lord, and harvest them. Give us more time to be saved. Lord, we love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back. We love you in Christ. Thank you for watching our content. And our channel, JSong Presents, today was Chartroom. Guys, have a great day. And I will cue the outro music. Mm-hmm.